Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. This is Kay back at it with a new video. Today's video is about the cheapest price ain't always the best deal. So let's talk about that. I remember some years back, I had this car. I think it was like a 1998 Grand Am, which I kept in pristine condition. I mean, the inside was clean, the outside body was in order. The car was just in good condition. And so I used to let this alley mechanic, a guy in the neighborhood, do little odds and ends on my car. Nothing major, just little stuff that he could do. Maybe change the oil or maybe switch out the brake pads, things like that. And the car had a slight little water leak, and it was the water pump. I hope I'm saying that right. It was the water pump on the car. So, I didn't think it was a big deal. And he said that he can fix that. He said, Kate, let me do that. I know how to change out the water pump on the car. I say, oh, okay. So I went to the auto parts store to get the part. And the guy behind the counter said, hey, man, he said, whoever installed this for you, I hope they know what they're doing, because with that particular car, you have to make sure you get that timing chain right. And he said, and if you don't, they can mess up and mess your engine up. So when I left there, I was a little hesitant to get an alley doctor the opportunity to work on my car with this particular part. So he called me. Don't worry, I can do it. I say, man, are you sure you can do this? He said, yeah, I can do it. So I said, okay, I'll tell you what, meet me at the garage, and, I got the part, got everything you need, and you call me when you're done. So I left him in the garage. A day went by, 2 days went by, going on a week now. What's going on? So I called him. I said, hey, so how's it going? No, I went by there. I went by the garage because it wasn't at my house. So I had a garage at another location. So I went by the garage, and the car was still broke down. I'm like, wow, what's going on? So I called the mechanic, and he said, Kay, I got some bad news. I said, oh boy, what's the bad news? I think I messed the engine up. I said, you gotta be joking. And so he messed the engine up on the car, and he didn't have any money. He's just around the neighborhood doing little odds and ends jobs, so he couldn't pay me for it. So now I lost on the engine. So then I took it. I was going to two places. I was going to, it was called, I can't think, I'm not going to get a name. So I took it to this mechanic shop, and then I was going to take it somewhere else too. And, when I went to the first mechanic, he was showing me, what he does. He was working on a Corvette engine. And I was like, wow, okay. And, I said, well, I tell you what, he gave me his price. And I said, well, I tell you what, let me go check out this other place, and I'll get back to you. I mean, this guy literally blocked the entry of his door because he wanted that job that bad. And, I felt hesitant, and my man was telling me not to, but I did anyway. We ordered an engine because he said, hey, just get a used engine, put this used engine in wherever he told me he was going to buy it from. Guess what? Did not work. So we're going back and forth, and then finally I got my income tax time. He had kept my car for quite a while. So then I got my income tax, and I said, well, I'll give him another shot at it. I don't want to buy a new car. So I bought a rebuilt engine, and this engine was like almost like factory rebuilt. And he messed that one up too. So now I should have took him to a small claims court, but I didn't. At that time, I was just frustrated. I was tired. I just wanted to get it over with. And when I drove it off his lot, the car was still in bad shape. And long story short, I wound up junking that car. Perfectly good car. Two bad mechanics, and the car wound up being junk. Where am I going with this? It cost me almost $6,000, and that was a lesson learned. You just have to be really cautious on who you dealing with when they're working on your cars. Now let's go to the houses now. Now the house is a big ticket item. I've seen so many people get burnt by bad contractors. You just can't go by a cheap price. You have to really vet these people to make sure that they're qualified. They're not overbooked. They're not all over the place trying to get stuff done, and they need like most of their money up front. Because I'm gonna tell you, if you give one of those mechanics or contractor most of their money, good luck getting your job completed because they're gone. Money spent, and they don't need you anymore. They got all their money. I've had in the past, I would give people money because for whatever reason they had, that they was in a situation where they needed the money. Could I get advance on the money? And when I did that or gave them all the money, what's the incentive to come back? There isn't any. And then guess what? I got burned. I see it all the time, in this field. That people come out, they haven't been vetted, they gave the cheapest price, and they like a fly by night. They come out, say they can do a lot of things, mess up a lot of things, and guess who's holding the bag? You. So what's my advice? You just gotta really vet people, really check, just like as though you hiring them to work for you. Well, they are working for you because they're working on your house or your car, and make sure that they're reputable. Read those comments about how well they did with other people, and check with the Better Business Bureau and all these other places if it's a big job. Because once that money's spent, you're screwed. I've seen people take out a second mortgage and get stuff done, and it didn't come out right. And guess what? You still got to pay that second mortgage back, whether those guys finish the job or not. So that's my take on it. Always make sure that you vet these people. The cheapest price ain't always the best deal. You want to make sure they're reputable. They got a reputation. They stand by, and you're good to go. But if you just out here just looking for a cheap price, you might just get burned. Again, this is Kate back at it with a new video. Take care, guys.